We don't want war. Stop it.
For decades, Africa has become synonymous with never-ending conflicts, government overruns by military, ethnic tensions, and power struggles that have threatened to sink most parts of the continent into anarchy. The peace processes in regions experiencing disharmony have in many cases become a means to end in themselves.
We are on one hand assuming or pretending we are coming together over an issue and trying to find a solution, while at the same time each country is pulling in its own direction, different from the other.
While countries like South Africa continue to heal from the apartheid brutality and Somalia on the path of returning to constitutional rule, the DRC conflict continues to heighten fears and tensions among the Congolese and their neighbors in the eastern region. The Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo conflict has rooted itself with the very fabric of social uncertainty, with the recurring conflict leaving the citizens desperate for peace, wondering when, who, and for how long will it take to restore peace in the Eastern DRC. The AK Digital reviews the origin, the development, the current state of DRC, and the efforts made to restore peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The question that many have, especially those from DRC, is whether the DRC has been at war since time immemorial and what has transpired in this war since its genesis. The IK Digital traces the first DRC Congo war exacerbated by the events of 1994 Rwandan genocide, where the Rwandan government, led by the Hutu in the majority, carried out an ethnic cleansing of close to 1 million Tutsi and moderate Hutus. Following the genocide, over 2 million refugees, mostly Hutus, fled to neighboring countries, particularly the DRC, to escape the advancing Tutsi-led Rwandan Patriotic Front, which eventually took control of Rwanda. The complex diplomatic relations between the Kinshasa and Kigali governments have played a role either to repress or refuel tensions in the region.
Population asirika miaka 22 ya mauaji ni mingi na ndio mission ya kwanza ulimwenguni. Kwa leo raia wanasema MONUSCO iende, tumechoka na mauaji.
The historical brutal rule of the Belgium Congo quickly found its way in the Democratic Republic of Congo, characterized by the foreign influence, animosity in power struggles and betrayals, capped with the assassination of the revolutionary leader of Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba. The assassination that put it say also killed the visions and hopes for the united peaceful DRC, replacing it with a recipe of ethnic tensions, regional rebellions and political instability. Between 1998 to 2003, Congo again embroiled into second war, when a rebel leader, Desire Kabila, who had been previously supported by Rwanda and Uganda, overthrew the then President Mobutu Sese Seko's government that marked the end of his rule on 30th July 1997. Mobutu's government was characterized by corruption, nepotism, and exploitation of natural resources such as gold, diamond, cobalt, and coltan that was siphoned off by Mobutu and his allies, while the majority of the population lived in poverty. This war caused immense human sufferings, resulting in an estimated 5 million deaths, mostly from diseases and starvation, making it the deadliest conflict since World War II. The war was officially ended in 2003 with a peace agreement, but the country remained unstable. From exploitations of natural resources such as gold, diamond, and cobalt in Goma, to the rebel groups such as the M23, the Allied Democratic Forces ADF and other militia has been believed to be the major causes of conflict in DRC. Every group and the missionaries working hard to safeguard their interest in the area.
Vita ambavyo naviona hapa vinakuwa na vyanzo vinne. Ya kwanza, kuna wale wanatafuta kwa nguvu uraia wa Kongomani. Ya pili, kuna wale ambao wanatafuta ardhi, nafasi ya kuishi, nafasi ya kufanya mlimo, nafasi ya kufanya mafugo ya ngombe na vingine. Ya tatu, kuna wale wanatafuta madaraka na wanatumia nguvu, wanaua watu. Vita imekuwa kama mungazi wa kupeleka watu kufikia madaraka. Ndio maana wamejua kama tukafanya vita tutapata kitu. Ya nne ni kuwa haisaulikani ulimwengu mzima kama nchi hii ni tajiri kwa madini, hasa ili jimbo la Kivu ya Kaskazini.
In recent years, the situation has been marked by the ongoing instability, particularly in the eastern DRC, where the groups like the Allied Democratic Forces ADF, a Ugandan-based militia, and the Democratic Forces of the Liberation of Rwanda FDLR, composed of the ex-Rwandan genocide perpetrators, have been active and therefore causing havoc in the area.
Tumependa nchi yetu isivamiwe, ile ndio inaacha tunaweza tukachangana na guvernema, lakini nao wakishikamata mubaya nao tunaweza wapiga kama wanasaidiana wale waasi.
However, various peace efforts have been deployed in the region, including the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic of Congo, that is MONUSCO, and the Southern African Development Community SADC, has failed due to the fragmentation of armed groups, external interference, and the deep involvement of militia in resource exploitations, lack of effective governance, corruptions, and limited support for local populations has highly hindered long-term stability.
The UN Secretary General sends a peace envoy into a war situation, and that is why MONUSCO has been a monumental failure.
As a result of these ongoing conflicts, regional leaders, diplomats, and activists have proposed the diplomatic initiatives that aims to restore and resolve the situations in the region.
The best way to conflict resolution is mediation that is transformative and certainly dialogue that is inclusive.
The Nairobi process and the Rwanda process aims to address the root cause of conflicts, focusing on the disarmament and demobilizations of the armed groups operating in the eastern Congo, particularly the M23 rebels, and restoring peace through negotiations.
And it is only going to be resolved when all parties who have been named are sitting in one room and are told, we don't want war. Stop it.
On its part, the AU commits to continue facilitating the dialogue between the DRC governments and various armed groups to encourage peace negotiations and reduce conflicts.
There will be no exclusion for us in any form of dialogue. That is not what the African Union wants.
The scrutiny of peace efforts here in DRC highlights failures of military interventions, external influence, and internal governance issues, armed groups that continues to undermine the peace in this region.
The African Union wants to promote dialogue, mediation, so that we can continue to pray and hope for peace dividends.
Reporting for IK Digital, my name is Edmad Maina.